Chat, yao osa society. A dog in Australia had terminal cancer. Vets gave it weeks to live. Then its owner did something that sounds like pure science fiction. He used ChatGPT and an AI protein folding system to design a custom mRNA vaccine in his garage. 4 weeks later, the tumors were shrinking. The dog is still alive. This isn't a clinical trial. This wasn't approved by any medical board. And yet it worked. The question you should be asking right now isn't whether this is real, it's whether we just witnessed the future of medicine or something far more dangerous. Meet Baylor, a mixed breed dog living in Sydney. Last year, Baylor was diagnosed with terminal head and neck cancer. The tumors were aggressive, surgery wasn't an option. Chemotherapy bought time, but the prognosis was grim, maybe 2 months. Baylor's owner isn't a veterinarian. He's not a geneticist. He's an entrepreneur who'd previously worked in biotech. And when faced with losing his dog, he made a decision that breaks every rule in the medical handbook. He decided to create his own vaccine. Here's what makes this story different from every backyard science experiment you've heard about. This wasn't guesswork. This was precision medicine designed by artificial intelligence. 2 AIs, actually. ChatGPT for research and protocol design. And AlphaFold, the Google DeepMind system that won a Nobel Prize last year for solving protein structure prediction. The entrepreneur sequenced a sample of Baylor's tumor. He fed that genetic data into ChatGPT. He asked it to identify mutations that were unique to the cancer cells. Then he used AlphaFold to predict what proteins those mutations would create. And then he asked ChatGPT to design an mRNA vaccine that would train Baylor's immune system to hunt down cells expressing those exact proteins. The entire design process took less than a week. Let's break down what actually happened here, because this gets wild fast. Step 1. The tumor biopsy. Through a veterinary clinic, a sample of Baylor's tumor was extracted and sent for genetic sequencing. This isn't experimental anymore. You can sequence DNA through commercial labs for a few $100s. The sequencing revealed the tumor's complete genetic blueprint, every mutation, every abnormality. Step 2. Identifying the target. Here's where ChatGPT entered the picture. The entrepreneur uploaded the sequencing data and prompted the AI to analyze it. Specifically, he asked ChatGPT to identify neoantigens. These are proteins that only exist on cancer cells because of their mutations. They're like fingerprints. If you can teach an immune system to recognize them, you can turn the body into a cancer hunting machine. ChatGPT identified several candidate neoantigens within hours. Step 3. Protein structure prediction. Knowing the genetic sequence of a neoantigen isn't enough. You need to know what shape it takes. Proteins fold into complex 3-dimensional structures, and that shape determines how the immune system sees them. This is where AlphaFold came in. The entrepreneur fed the neoantigen sequences into AlphaFold. The AI predicted their exact 3-dimensional structures with near-atomic accuracy. This step used to take years in a lab. AlphaFold did it in minutes. Step 4. Designing the mRNA vaccine. Now comes the truly insane part. Using the protein structures from AlphaFold, the entrepreneur asked ChatGPT to design mRNA sequences that would instruct Baylor's cells to produce these neoantigens temporarily. The idea? Train the immune system on harmless copies of the cancer fingerprint. ChatGPT generated multiple candidate mRNA sequences. The entrepreneur refined them through iterative prompting, asking the AI to optimize for stability, translation efficiency, and immune response. This is the same technology behind the COVID vaccines, but those took billions of dollars and armies of scientists. This was done on a laptop. Step 5. Manufacturing the vaccine. Here's where things get controversial. The entrepreneur didn't go through a pharmaceutical company. He ordered synthetic mRNA from a commercial biotech supplier. These companies exist to serve research labs. They'll synthesize custom genetic sequences if you pay them. No questions asked. He formulated the mRNA into lipid nanoparticles using protocols pulled from scientific papers. Again, ChatGPT helped interpret the chemistry. The final product looked identical to a professionally manufactured vaccine. Step 6. Administration. Working with a veterinarian who understood the risks, Baylor received 3 doses of the custom vaccine over 4 weeks. The vet monitored for adverse reactions. Blood tests tracked immune response. And then something remarkable happened. Within 2 weeks, Baylor's energy levels increased. The tumors, which had been growing aggressively, stopped expanding. By week 4, imaging showed they were shrinking, not eliminated, but shrinking. Baylor's immune system was attacking the cancer. So what does this mean? And why should you care about one dog in Australia? First, this is proof of concept. AI-designed personalized medicine isn't theoretical anymore. It's not 5 years away. It happened in a garage in 2024. ChatGPT and AlphaFold, tools you can access right now, were used to create a functional cancer treatment from scratch. Think about what that democratizes. Gene sequencing costs are plummeting. AI tools are free or cheap. The knowledge is out there in research papers. The manufacturing infrastructure exists in the commercial biotech supply chain. We're looking at a future where personalized medicine doesn't require a billion-dollar pharmaceutical company. It requires a laptop, some biology knowledge, and enough desperation to ignore regulations. That's either terrifying or revolutionary, depending on your perspective. Here's what this means for you specifically. Cancer treatment today is one size fits all. You get the standard protocol: chemo, radiation, surgery, maybe immunotherapy if you're lucky, but your cancer is unique. Its mutations are unique to you. Generic treatments attack it with a sledgehammer. Personalized mRNA vaccines are a sniper rifle. They train your immune system to target your specific cancer. The technology exists. The AIs can design it. The only barrier is regulatory. And that barrier just got thinner. The dark side. Let's address the obvious. This entrepreneur bypassed every safety protocol that exists for a reason. No animal trials, no toxicity studies, no regulatory approval. He injected his dog with an experimental genetic therapy based on AI suggestions and his own interpretation of scientific literature. It worked. This time. But what happens when someone tries this on themselves? What happens when the AI makes a mistake in the protein prediction? What happens when a poorly formulated mRNA vaccine triggers a catastrophic immune response? You're looking at a future where biohackers operate underground clinics, where desperate people with terminal diagnoses bypass the medical system entirely, where AI-designed treatments spread through dark web forums. This is the biotech equivalent of cryptocurrency, decentralized, unregulated, unstoppable. Or fear, the regulatory question. Basas. Governments have no framework for this. The FDA approval process takes years and costs hundreds of millions. It's designed for pharmaceutical companies manufacturing treatments at scale. It's not designed for individualized AI-generated therapies created on demand. How do you regulate something that can be designed in a week and manufactured by anyone with a credit card and a mailing address? You probably can't. The medical establishment response. Since this story broke, veterinary medical boards have been scrambling. Some are calling for investigations. Others are quietly fascinated. A few vets have admitted they'd consider similar approaches for terminal cases where conventional options are exhausted. Human oncologists are watching closely. Because if this works in dogs, the next question is obvious. Several bioethicists have pointed out that we're having the wrong conversation. The question isn't whether this should be allowed. The question is whether we can stop it, and the answer is probably no. Baylor is still alive. The tumors haven't disappeared, but they've stopped growing. The dog that was supposed to die months ago is still playing in the backyard. This isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning. Here's what you need to think about. We're entering an era where AI gives individuals capabilities that used to require institutions. The barrier between person with a problem and person who can engineer a genetic solution just collapsed. That's going to save lives. It's also going to create disasters. The technology doesn't care which one happens, it just gives you the tools. Drop a comment below. Would you use AI to design a treatment if someone you loved was dying and doctors had given up? Would you take that risk? Because that's not a hypothetical anymore. That's a choice people are going to face. Hit subscribe if you want to stay ahead of where AI and biotech collide. This is just the start. The next story might be about a human.